Doomcock's Laws of Canon don't work. Stick around and find out why.
Reimagine Star Wars.
Time
to engage your reimagination.
Reimagine with us by subscribing and clicking that bell button. So recently, Doomcock, another YouTuber who I actually kind of like, released his revised Laws of Canon. And these revised Laws of Canon have some flaws, and I would like to point them out. Just made me ask some questions. So first we're going to go over the Laws of Canon, then we will point out their flaws, and then we will do our own revised version of the Laws of Canon. And then we will pose some questions to you and see if it's something that we can improve upon together. So here are Doomcock's Laws of Canon. If you wish to see his explanation of the laws for yourself, then you can click the card on the right.
The first law of canon. Canon is chronological. Anything that contradicts a previously established fact is not canon.
So the question for the first law of canon is, does a new interpretation necessarily contradict a previously established fact? The second law of canon. Canon may only be revised or discarded by the original creator, not by his heirs or assigns.
Why does the original creator get to violate the first law? Which Star Wars A New Hope release is canonical? 1977, 1997, or later releases?
The third law of canon. The moral right of canon supersedes the legal right of intellectual property. Question. Why is the original creator not held to the moral rights clause? Another question. Whose interpretation is more important, the fan or the creator? What if there are multiple creators that produce the beloved product? I mean, wasn't it a team? Why does just one person get full credit for a beloved creation? The fourth law of canon. Nothing that disregards a creator's written treatment or script can be regarded as canon.
Question. What if the original creator's script violates the previous laws?
The fifth law of canon. In the end, works of genius can be ratified as canon by fans.
Doesn't this mean fans trump even the original creator and make the original creator's intent irrelevant?
So as you can see, we've taken what Doomcock proposed and raised some serious questions, at least we think. Let us know in the comments what you think about that. Do you think those are valid questions? How would you answer them? However, we've taken this idea of the laws of canon and tried to make our own laws. Now, they're subject to revision based on some of your comments and any discussions we have below, and further questions or discussions that arise because of it. But here they are, and I look forward to any discussion that we might have from them.
Reimagining Star Wars Laws of Canon.
The first law of canon.
Consistency. Movie or story logic must remain consistent throughout the franchise.
The explanation. New revisions or apparent contradictions to previously established fact within new works must be explained within the new work so as not to be retconned outside of the new work. Stated another way, changes previously established fact must make sense without additional retcons. Characters, technology, tone, events must follow the previously established references and inferences unless progression, regression, or plausible revision is reasonably established within the new storyline. This is so the explanation to an inconsistency can't be developed by the Phantom so as to create multiple retcons for a single inconsistency. An example of it being done well is the retcon within a work, Darth Vader killed your father. And then it came back that Darth Vader was Luke's father. And then, again, redressed by Obi-Wan is that you'll find that what you hold to be true depends on your point of view. All within the same work of the trilogy to explain the retcon that occurred in Empire Strikes Back. So an example of a retcon out of a work is, do you remember your mom, your real mom, that Luke asked to Leia? And then we find out during the prequels, she has lost the will to live and dies during childbirth. For a time, there was no retcon for this, and there were multiple fan-generated retcons. And since there was not one explanation within the trilogy or the 6-film saga, that could not be canon. However, a retcon was given. The retcon, Leia has a version of psychometry, and that's how she remembers. However, to me, this retcon was insufficient, because how would Luke know Leia would remember her real mom? There is implied conversations we are not privy to. Luke was clearly not asking her to use her psychometry force power, especially since she didn't know she had the Force. Additionally, this retcon occurred by a different author and would therefore violate Doomcock's laws. This retcon is released as part of the body of work to Star Wars, so therefore makes the previous work come into canon and would also therefore be canon, because it also does not violate the other parts of the saga. The second law of canon.
Moral rights. Fans have the right to decide their own canon.
Explanation. Just because a franchise owner deviates from the consistency doesn't mean the fans have to follow. If the franchise owner aligns the story advancements with the desire of the most fervent fans, usually Pareto 20%, then harmony will mostly exist within the fandom. Fans have the right to reject changes to original publications or new changes that violate the first law. This is true whether it's the Lucas prequels or J.K. Rowling prequels or the Disney sequels. The third law of canon.
Literary theory, the death of the author applies. The design/desire of this original creator is irrelevant as long as the story advancements meet the criteria of the previous laws.
Explanation. Any franchise can be progressed forward without direct influence of the original creator, as long as changes to the story don't violate the first law and align with the second law. The example to this is the old EU, or now known as Legends, in Star Wars. This was the canon to many fans. The truth is, there's many storylines that have changed and evolved and progressed past the life of their author and the original creator. I mean, Conan, what's canon for Conan now? And what's canon for Tarzan now? And what's canon for Buck Rogers? And what's canon for Flash Gordon? Those stories aged out. The people who they were directed to are now gone. And if they are revived, they're revived under new storylines, under new people, under new ways of thinking. And this will be true for Star Wars at some point. But canon will progress, and the stories will too. And it's all we can do is hopefully try to keep it alive and fresh and pass it on to the next generation. And all we can do is try to develop some means of thinking for there to be consistency. That's really what it comes down to, is that there's internal, external, and tonal and technical consistency throughout the whole thing. If we do that, if people telling the stories can do that, then there will be very little revolting and very little breakups of the fandom. That's got to be the goal of all the storytellers within whatever franchise it is. Even if it's the original creators, they have to remember that. So ultimately, whatever it is within the franchise that is being devised, they have to know the audience that they are catering to, and they must meet the criteria of the storytelling that has appealed to that audience in the first place. I.e., they have to know what makes the story unique and loved.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Like he said, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you want to see more. Click the end screen to see our stories.